Excellent right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Lal, and we are going to begin with our first appearance misdemeanor calendar with the State Court of Fulton County. These are cases in which individuals were recently arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail. Soon after being charged, their cases have now been formally accused by the prosecutor, who is the Solicitor General of Fulton County. When I address your case, please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you choose to say in open court during this virtual proceeding, that's not only being recorded but live streamed. So any of your statements will be recorded and also used against you in the treatment of your case. So if you have anything to say, please say that in confidence with your attorney. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Today, when I address your case, I will let you know what's the accusation number, what are the charges brought against you, to appoint counsel, set a bond, and in certain cases, give you a court date. With regards to bond, some of you may qualify for what we call a signature bond, which you won't have to pay for the bond today, but you will have to comply with certain conditions. Otherwise, others may qualify for what we call a surety bond or a cash bond, in which case you would have to pay for your bond either out of your own pocket or through a bonding company. Okay, and Miss Bridgewater, good afternoon. What's
Good
our
afternoon, Your Honor. Your reset date for the SAP calendar is July the 15th.
Oh, right. Moving forward. Okay.
Moving forward.
All right. Okay, and courtroom two, who shall we begin with?
Position number 2, Arnold.
This is State versus Jameer Arnold, accused of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and misdemeanor possession of a pistol or revolver by an individual under the age of 18. Mr. Arnold, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is going to be, is it Ms. Tucker? Ms. Tucker, are you representing him?
First arrest, though.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Tucker, I can't hear you. I think your headphones might be impeding your audio.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, better. Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation for Mr. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. Just to give you a brief background on this case, this occurred on July 1st, 2025. Defendant was identified. A call came in. The defendant was in possession of a Glock handgun, brandishing it toward a patron at the MARTA station. Units advised that he was headed eastbound on Decatur Street from Georgia State Station. Officers saw the defendant, who matched the description, and took from his person. Well, the defendant then took off running from the officer on Decatur Street. He pursued him, detained him, and a Glock handgun, which came back stolen, was found on his person. The state does have, even though it is his first arrest, has some real serious concerns about the fact that we got a person under 18 running around with a gun, and that the initial call out was that he was brandishing it at patrons at the MARTA station. For that reason, the state is asking for a $10,000 surety bond. We are also asking for no firearms whatsoever, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and that he stay away from the MARTA station at Georgia State Station.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes. As it was reported, Mr. Arnold is 17 years of age. He is a Georgia native. He currently is employed doing car detailing with a relative, his uncle. He does live with and take care of his minor son. He does not currently reside in the same household as his parents, which is important here because I've been attempting to get in contact with his parents because I know it would be required for his bond. I have not been successful in that attempt to contact either of them. However, because it's his first arrest, I'm requesting a signature bond on his behalf.
All right. And I'm sorry, you said you have not been able to reach his family or uncle?
No, Your Honor.
All right. On the willful obstruction, that's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. On the possession of a pistol, that's going to be a $2,000 surety bond. This is going to be a $4,000 split bond. Once he makes bond on the firearm charge, he will need to report to pretrial services twice a month. So it'll be on a level 2. No illegal drugs, no alcoholic beverages, and definitely no firearms. He's not allowed to have any firearms on his person, in his home, in any vehicle he occupies, or within 50 yards of his person. He is to also report to pretrial, like I said, twice a month, excuse me, and he'll be subject to random screens for illegal drugs and or alcohol. If he gets arrested again for anything else, the remaining $2,000 portion of his bond will also be revoked and he will be in a no bond status. Mr. Arnold, this is possession of a firearm. And if it turns out that the firearm is stolen, there is a strong possibility that the prosecutor could ask this case to be upgraded to a theft by receiving stolen property of a firearm, which is a felony charge. So I highly recommend that you stay very far away from guns, and your next court date is going to be July 15th. Thank you.
Position number 19, Vincent.
This is State versus William Lamar Vinson, accused of simple battery family violence from July 1st, case number 25CR 3727E. Mr. Vinson, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms.
It's me, Your Honor.
McLeod. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Howard, any priors?
Third, 2007 theft, RICO, financial ID fraud conviction. Before that was in 1998.
All right, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This happened July 1st, 2025 at 2280 Campbellton Road, Southwest in Atlanta. The defendant and his son, Jajujua Brooks, were arguing about Mr. Brooks not following the rules of the house. The defendant then pushed Mr. Brooks in the chest. The defendant stated it was because Mr. Brooks was in his face. Mr. Brooks just stated he was voicing his opinion because he didn't agree with the defendant's rules, and the defendant pushed him. A fight then ensued between the two of them. As you've heard, the defendant has 2 previous cycles. Last one was outside of 10 years, no violence. We are agreeable with an SOB through pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no further violent contact with Jajujua Brooks, and 1-day anger awareness. We would at this time like to sound for Jajujua Brooks, and that's all for the state.
Mr. Brooks, if you're on Zoom, this is the time to unmute. Any objection, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, we would prefer a signature bond to the jail if that is possible, Your Honor. My client, this is his home, and he tells me that his son, who was homeless, he and his wife agreed that he could, move in with them until he gets a place, and he just will not go along with his rules, such as no marijuana, no coming in at all hours, and so on. It's just the kind of rules that a parent can put in place in their own home. And his son just came to his place and just doesn't want to go along with the program. And then his son was up in his face and being disrespectful. And this is all that this is, Your Honor.
Understood. On the simple battery family violence, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. I'll allow for telephonic reporting.
Yes,
No
Your
further
Honor.
violent contact with Jujua Brooks. He may return to the home, and he needs to complete 1 anger awareness program with pretrial. No illegal drugs and no firearms, and his next court date will be sent to his current address. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And that concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next case, courtroom 2.
We can go to ACDC.
All right, thank you. Deputy Milton, who do we have, please?
Now, this is Francois. Good afternoon, Judge Law. This is going to be
Okay.
position number 13. It's me.
All right, thank you, Deputy Francois. Sorry, I could see you from this side. Okay, let's see. Nia Ming has been accused of theft by taking, and her case number is going to be 25CR 3725D. from March 30th of this year. Ms. Ming, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
7/2021, I got home invasion. Fire council ag out of Houston County. It was dismissed. 2021 contempt of court. 2021 trespass conviction.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened on March 30th of 2025 at 3870 Narren Drive Southwest in Atlanta. The defendant was cleaning through an app called Home Glow and was hired by Miss Fulton. Her first name is Morgan Fulton. On Sunday, the 30th, the defendant and an unidentified male came to the house to do the cleaning. Miss Fulton noted that they arrived around 9 a.m. and left around 3 p.m. She paid the defendant for her services, at which point the defendant and her male companion left the residence together. After they left, Miss Fulton discovered that her daughter's birth certificate and social security card, a blue pair of Air Jordan 11 sneakers, a purple Kate Spade bag, and a Kate Spade wallet were missing from her home. She did reach out to the defendant, who denied taking the items and instead blamed the individual who accompanied her. However, I do make note that it was Miss Fulton hired the defendant to come and clean. The defendant brought a random male with her when she came to Miss Fulton's house. So it was, to my understanding, not someone through Home Glow. It was someone that the defendant brought herself. We have had an opportunity to speak with Miss Fulton. She stated she hired the defendant to clean her home. The items were missing. The defendant blamed the male companion, as you heard. In their initial conversation, she said there was no mention of anyone else coming to her home, and she asked the defendant the name of the other guy. She gave two different names and acted as though she didn't know the male that she brought with her, his name. She stated she still has not received any of her items back. She has not had contact with the defendant since. She did say she does not wish to attend the Zoom. I still will sound from Ms. Fulton out of an abundance of caution. We are asking for a $1,000 surety bond, anti-theft course, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, no further contact with Morgan Fulton, and stay away from her address at 3870 Narren Drive Southwest in Atlanta. That's all for the state. We would like to sound from Ms. Fulton at this time.
Morgan Fulton, if you're on Zoom, this is the time to unmute and start your video. Is this the Home Glow where they advertise on late night? You know, the first clean is like $19.
Yes, that would be
Okay.
that would be correct. I will also state that the bond set by the magistrate court is $3,000, so the state is agreeing to a downward departure from that initial bond.
Understood. Mr. McLean, the bond is going to be set at $2,000. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. No further contact with Morgan Fulton. Stay away from 3870 Narren Drive in Southwest Atlanta. She'll need to maintain a current address, and folks just need to be careful who they bring into their homes.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I know you said $2,000 signature bond, level 1, stay away, no further contact. Was there anything else?
No illegal drugs and no firearms?
Would Your Honor be agreeable to the anti-theft course?
Not at this point. I only issue these kind of conditions in DV cases.
Understood, Your Honor.
Or DUI. Okay. All right. Who do we have? Sorry, Deputy Francois, do we have another case?
No, that's it. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Courtroom 2, who do we have?
Position 1.
Position 1. Okay. Is this Paul Akulu?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Akulu, I think it's Akulu or Kalu, is accused of battery, family violence, suspended registration, simple battery, family violence, and no insurance from July 1st of 2025. Mr. Akulu, your case number is 25CR3717C. And with respect to this case, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Ms. Tucker. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Or all I saw was open suspended license and registration stuff.
All right, thank you. Ms. Full?
Yes, Your Honor. This happened July 1st, 2025 at 8085 Adair Lane, apartment 1612 in Sandy Springs. The victim in this case, Mr. Chidoze Uzoho, got into an argument with the defendant about $200 in rent that was owed to him. The defendant and Mr. Uzoho had been living together since October of 2024, and during the argument, the defendant headbutted Mr. Uzoho in the face, causing a bloody and busted lip. The defendant then left in his Mercedes-Benz, which was pulled over as the vehicle was identified as being part of the domestic dispute. The defendant had no insurance and no registration. His registration had been suspended since March of 2025, and the defendant actually previously been given a warning by a different officer regarding that suspended registration. He has 3 prior cycles, which are all driving offenses. We are agreeable to an SOB through pretrial services. Stay away from 8085 Adair Lane, apartment 1612 in Sandy Springs. No further contact with Chidoze Uzoho. No firearms, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We would like to sound for Mr. Udozo at this time, and that's all for the state. Oh, we would like to also add that he is not to drive any motor vehicle unless he has proper registration and proper insurance. That's all for the state.
I'm assuming the vehicle was impounded?
Actually, Your Honor, I'm not sure.
Okay. And Mr. Oduso? All right. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Mr. Chulu is 24 years of age. He's lived in the Atlanta area for 5 years now. He's a full-time student majoring in information technology. We have no objections to a signature bond. However, we are objecting to the stay away from the incident location, 8085 Adair Lane, apartment 1612 is Mr. Achulu's primary residence. His name is on the lease. The alleged victim in this incident was a guest in his home who had been staying there rent-free for months on end. Mr. Achulu had finally been requesting rent from him, which was going unpaid, which led to this incident. So we are objecting to the stay away, requesting that Mr. Achulu is allowed to return home upon making bond, and requesting because the victim would not be returning back to that unit. We have no objections to no further contact with the victim in this incident.
Okay, thank you.
And Your Honor, if I may, we did reach out to the victim, but due to the lack of information, we were able to leave a message, but not able to make contact. So I'm not sure where the indication that the victim is not returning to the residence. I don't know if Ms. Tucker actually spoke to the victim and has some information.
Well, I spoke to the leaseholder. The victim is not on the lease. He was not paying rent, which was stated as well in the police affidavit. So he's not a renter. He was solely a guest. So if he's not allowed back there by the resident, then he's not allowed back there by the resident.
Well, no, there's an eviction process that would need to be put in place. This victim has been in the home since October 2024. He is far more than a guest at this point, and there is a proper procedure for that, but this is not that procedure.
Well, looks like it's clearly news to the defendant. I see a Donald Achalu. Mr. Donald Achalu, are you here on behalf of Paul Achalu?
Yes.
Would you like to say something? Or do you want to remain silent?
I just say, because
You need your video on.
Oh,
And last call for Shidozi Uzoho. What's your name, Mr. Achalu?
Donald.
And how are you related to Paul?
He's my brother.
Older or younger?
Older.
And where do you reside?
8085 Adair Lane.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do.
Okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to pick up the phone and put it right in front of your face.
Okay.
And put your hand down. Step 1, pick up your phone. Step 2, put it right in front of your face. Nope. Pick it up all the way. Bring your phone really close to your face. Perfect. Yes. Okay. Who occupies the premises at 8805 Adair Lane, apartment 612?
Me and my brother, and my sister used to stay with us, but she stays with my older sister right now.
And who is Shidozi Uzoho?
My brother's friend,
And how long has he lived there?
almost a year now.
Almost a year. All right. Thank you. That's all I needed to know. You may mute your screen. Thank you. So, Ms. Tucker, unfortunately, as Ms. Falk has spelled it out, that individuals who stay at someone's premises continuously for more than 30 days are deemed to be tenants at sufferance. And Mr. Archulu would have to file the necessary dispossessory action if Mr. Uzoho is still occupying the premises. But if he's no longer occupying the premises and he has vacated, then Mr. Achulu can return to the property. But in the meantime, on the battery family violence, that's going to be a 3,500 signature bond through pretrial services. On the suspended registration is going to be a 500 good bond. On the simple battery is going to be a 1,500 signature bond through pretrial services. And the no insurance is going to be
Excuse me,
$1,000. Yeah.
I do apologize. I didn't get to finish what I was
Oh, I'm
saying.
sorry.
He does
Okay, go
have
ahead.
proof of registration and insurance. He wasn't allowed to show that to the officers from his recount of the incident. The previous charge was dismissed from his registration and insurance charge because when he arrived in court from the previous charge,
No,
he
no,
was
no, I'm
able to
talking
show
about
the
now. Has this charge from this case, is his
He
registration
says he
license
currently
allegedly?
has registration and insurance.
He currently does?
Yes.
Let me see. And have you seen it?
No, Your Honor.
No insurance on the vehicle since December 22nd, 2024. Has the insurance just been acquired since his stop? All right, so we're still back to the same problem. So on the battery family violence is 3,500, and that's a signature bond through pretrial services. The suspended registration is a $500 good bond. The simple battery is a 1,500 signature bond through pretrial services, and the no insurance is a $1,000 good bond. So this total bond is going to be 6,500 split bond. He's to report to pretrial services once a month, so this will be level 1. No driving unless his has a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration. So before he starts a car, he needs to pull up the DDS website and make sure that it says valid driver's license, registration, and insurance is all good. Otherwise, he's not allowed to drive. That Mercedes can take a nice, relaxing rest in the garage. On the domestic violence matter, he will report to pretrial once a month. No further contact with Shidozi Uzoho. If Mr. Uzoho has vacated the premises, then he may return to the property. And the way he verifies that is he's allowed a one-time visit to the property with a police officer. If it's confirmed with the leasing office and the officer that Mr. Uzoho has vacated the premises, then all his property is gone, then Mr. Achulu can return to live in the apartment. Otherwise, he needs to stay away from the apartment, file the necessary dispossessory action, and get a court order, which the marshal will have to execute to have Mr. Uzoho evicted from the property. All right, before Mr. Achulu is back in the property. Meantime, while he's kicking his heels about this, he will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program. This is a series of 26 classes, and he will attend and complete all classes at his expense. He will enroll in the program within 30 days of being released. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. Next court date is July 15th. Thank you.
Number 4, Cruz.
Before, okay. This is Robert Cruz, Rubel Cruz, excuse me, accused of criminal trespass and violation of certain rules at a bus and rail station. Incident date appears to be yesterday, July 1st, 2025. Mr. Cruz, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Tucker. Any priors?
Cruz, 15. On probation, not of Bibb County, death by taken. On probation, out of the cab for trespass. He was arrested twice this year for trespass, 2024 simple assault conviction, and a resident of Macon.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened at the MARTA Peachtree Center Station, which is 216 Peachtree Street Northeast in Atlanta on July 1st. And the defendant was on the train, went from one train car to another train car, using the sliding door to gain entry in the absence of a bona fide emergency, which is a act prohibited on a bus or a rapid rail transit. He was asked to step off at the Civic Center. He was checked, and it showed that he had a permanent ban through MARTA, and he's not allowed to be on MARTA's property for life. He was then handcuffed at that point and taken into custody. The defendant has currently a bond set at $1,600 through the magistrate court, $600 on the certain acts, and $1,000 on the criminal trespass. We are agreeable to $1,000 surety bond total. $500 is to each. We also ask that he stay away from MARTA, since he does have a permanent ban, and this will just result in his rearrest if he goes back onto that property. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. That's all for the state.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Mr. Cruz is 28 years of age. He's been a Georgia resident for 3 years now. He's completed some college, and he's currently employed at HireQuest. He's been working there for 2 years. We are requesting a signature bond on his behalf. According to him, there's been some incident with MARTA, which occurred 6 months ago as well. For some reason, he's showing up as banned in their system. It was corrected 6 months ago, and now it's happening again. According to him, it's been an issue that was corrected, and then now it's apparently happening again. So he did want an opportunity to clear that up. So we're requesting a signature bond on his behalf.
No. On the criminal trespass is 750. The certain violations at bus and rail stations is 250. Total bond is 1,000. It is a surety bond. To stay away from all MARTA property in accordance with the existing suspension, and he may approach a MARTA officer in order to verify his status, but otherwise he's required to stay away from all the property, including buses and trains. Next court date is July 15th.
Number 5, Flowers.
This is State versus Amika Flowers, accused of 2 counts of battery and 2 counts of simple battery from May 3rd of this year. Case 25 CR 3734J. Mr. Flowers, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Ms. Tucker. I understand this is his first arrest, but he's got a Monroe, is it Monroe County hold or city hold? Monroe County?
County.
Okay. Mrs. Falk?
Yes. So the state can't usually see holds like that. Pretrial, do you know what the hold is for?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay. While Mr. Howard is looking that up for me, I will just give Your Honor some background on this. This individual, along with multiple other individuals, Mark Norrell, Osiris Jackson and Mikai Noakes were jumped on this defendant in what was described in the warrant as a gang style manner. They took turns punching him, knocking him to the ground, which is the victim, Mr. Miles Mayfield, and kicking him and stomping him. As a result, he has bruises everywhere as a result of this attack. And we do have the police report, which gives a little bit more background. It says that they got into an altercation 2 days before he was at Club Opium with some of his college friends, got into an altercation with 2 other students that attended his school. And as a result, he posted some negative comments about the parties involved in the altercation and tagged them in an Instagram post. 2 days after that, he was at a college party at 303 Fair Street, this party where the incident happened, and the defendants all came up to him to fight him and just flat out jumped him at that point. He did lose his phone as a part of the attack. Another student who was not involved picked up his phone. He was able to retrieve it a couple blocks away after tracking it. The entire incident was captured on video. The defendant was Mr. Mayfield, was able to show all of the defendants in the video, and that video was then uploaded to evidence.com through the police officers. We did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Mayfield, Your Honor, and he stated that he does not really know the defendant. They all went to school together. He did confirm the events. He has bruises to his face, ribs, and back, scratches on his hip, and he has had no contact with the other individuals since this point. So understanding that this is a first arrest, the state is fairly troubled by what occurred here and just the amount of violence that was employed upon this young man. We are asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim in this case.
Miles Mayfield?
Correct, Mr. Mayfield. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And we're asking for an anger management, a series of anger awareness classes as well, Your Honor. We would like to sound for Mr. Mayfield in case he is here in the court.
Mr. Mayfield? Miles Mayfield? I see a Miles M. If you want to contribute, this is your time to unmute and start your video. While we're waiting, do we have a case requiring a Spanish interpreter?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay, do I need to put defense counsel in a breakout?
It's one of my cases, so after this one, yes, please.
And is that Mr. Pio Quinto's case?
Yes.
Okay. And Your Honor, I did neglect to say the breakdown, 1,000 on each of the batteries, 500 on each of the simple batteries for a total of 3,000.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mayfield is not responding. Ms. Tucker, on the each count of the battery charge is going to be 2,000. On each count of the simple batteries, 1,000. This is a total of a $6,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 2. He's to have no further contact with Miles Mayfield and to also have no contact with, let's see if I can get all their names, Mark Norrell, Osiris Jackson, and Makey Graham, and Makey Noakes, and Quentin Noakes, and Sauna McKitty. Just wonder what's the gang name with all these different names. Okay, so he's to stay away from all these buddies and no illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Report to pretrial twice a month. If he gets arrested again for anything else, or he hangs out with these individuals whom I've just listed, he could jeopardize his bond. Also to stay away from 303 Fair Street in Atlanta, Georgia. See you in court. Thank you.
Ms. Tucker, can you do your last two
Sure
people?
thing.
What was that amount?
6,000 signature.
Bond through pretrial level 2.
And Mr. Howard, did you find out what the hold
I
is
put it in the
for?
chat.
Oh, thank you.
It's in the chat. The hold has been removed. Sheriff of Monroe contacted
Oh, it
me
removed
today.
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you
okay.
for letting me know.
All right. Yes,
Yeah.
Dr. Olisameka.
Yeah, hi,
Olisameka.
Yana.
Yeah, which case are you here for?
is for Mecca Flowers. I'm his uncle. I just wanted to understand, I'm not in the legal system, but it went from 3,000 to 6,000.
Yes, the amount is 6,000, but he doesn't have to pay for it today. He's going to be monitored through pretrial services. It's a signature bond. He has to sign for it and promise that he will report to pretrial twice a month. He will stay away from the individuals I've listed, stay away from the Fair Street location, and he's not to consume any illegal drugs, no alcohol, and not possess or own any weapons. If he doesn't report to pretrial, if he gets arrested again, or if he doesn't report to court or violates any of the conditions of the bond, his $6,000 signature bond will be revoked and amended to a surety bond or a cash bond. So now he is under a signature bond where he'll need to comply and behave himself. Otherwise, when he comes back to jail, please bring $6,000 with you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Can we do number 18 and number 21 before Ms. Tucker go into the breakout?
Okay. Miss Lucia, you're going to be in a breakout very soon. Let's see. Miss Tucker, you represent position 18 and 21. For position 18, I have, Deontre Tolbert, accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence. Mr. Tolbert's incident date is October 5th of 24, case 25 CR 3730B. Mr. Tolbert, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Miss Tucker. And any priors?
2020 probation. 2013 armed bank robbery, aiding and abetting, brandishing of a firearm during a crime of violence conviction. That was by the feds. That's all.
And the probations for the armed robbery?
I think so, but I have to go back and look.
Okay. Miss Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This happened October 5th, 2024 at 3797 MLK Junior Drive Southwest in Atlanta. The defendant was renting a room with her boyfriend. The defendant assaulted her by punching her in the mouth with a closed fist during a verbal argument, causing her mouth to bleed. The defendant then struck her in the back of the head. And this is according to Miss Tamika Kennedy, who's the victim, with a handgun, and she stated he also pointed it at her when she told him she was calling the police when she grabbed a bottle of Hennessy to defend herself. As you've heard, there is 11 cycles from Michigan. This is his first cycle from Georgia. We are asking for a $5,000 surety bond, $3,000 on the family violence battery, $2,000 on the family violence simple battery. Stay away from 3797 MLK Junior Drive Southwest. No further contact with Tamika Kennedy. Family Violence Intervention Program, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Must surrender any firearms to Fulton County Sheriff's Office. And based on the warrant, which I'm sure Your Honor has seen, due to the kind of odd details in the warrant, I do believe that random drug screens would be worthwhile in this case. We would at this time like to sound for Tamika Kennedy.
Canada or Kennedy?
I think I'm not sure. Kennedy, maybe.
Okay. Miss Tamika? No one's responding. Miss Tucker?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Tolbert is 48 years of age. He's lived in the Atlanta area for over 2 years now. He does have family in the area as well. He has obtained his GED and completed some college. In the last couple years while working in the area, he's worked at PepsiCo, he's worked at McDonald's distribution, he's done Uber Eats and DoorDash. However, he is not currently employed, and he is residing at an extended stay at USA Economy. We are requesting a signature bond on behalf of Mr. Tolbert. His last arrest was in 2020. He does not have any failure to appears. He is a resident of the area, and he has no problem showing up to court. This incident occurred in October of 2024, with no reoccurrence, and it's not likely that he is going to pick up another charge of this nature. We have no objections to no contact with Miss Tamika, as well as stay away from the incident location. Again, we are requesting a signature bond on behalf of Mr. Tolbert.
Okay. On the battery family violence, that's going to be 1,000. On the simple battery, 500. This is a 1,500 surety bond. No further contact with Tamika Canady, Canady. Stay away from 3797 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. And no illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. This next court date is going to be July 15th. Thank you.
Number 21, what?
Oh, sorry, Your Honor, if I may inquire, is FEIP going to be a part of this as well?
No, it's a surety bond, so.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I didn't know if you were willing to order it out of pocket.
I would if I was monitoring him through pretrial.
Understood.
Courtroom 2, who do we have? I'm sorry, 21? Okay, that would be Miss Tucker's case as well. And this is State versus Joseph Williams, accused of loitering and prowling in possession of a drug-related object in case 25 CR 3729Y from July 1st of this year. Mr. Williams, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Miss Tucker. Any priors?
22, 2023 probation, 2022 simple assault obstruction conviction. Another probation, 2022. Got a 2016 simple assault, ag assault, burglary in the second degree conviction, 2011 burglary conviction. I think he's homeless. And the FTA from 2009 and 11.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Your Honor, the defendant also has a hold. It looks like out of Atlanta Police Department. It looks like it's a traffic offense based on the numbering system on the hold. It looks like it may be traffic related. So I just wanted to let you know, I think it's an FTA according to the notes that I'm seeing. This incident happened on July 1st. The defendant was in the area of, let's see, my apologies, was in the area of Custer Avenue. He was seen walking into the driveway toward the front of homes on Custer Avenue on the 700 block. The homeowner at 720 Custer Avenue identified him going to several different houses in that location and pulling on the door handles of the cars at that location, attempting to enter the vehicles. The officers began canvassing the area. The reporting party actually followed the defendant to see where he was last traveling and saw him making a left onto Boulevard toward McDonough. The officers then made contact with him there, and the reporting party who actually called in identified the defendant as the person who he saw going up to the cars and pulling on the door handles. Upon a search of his person, a pipe was located on his person, which is commonly used to smoke cocaine. There was also a black Apple iPad removed from his waistband, and he also had a large amount of yellow copper wiring on his person and was counting a large amount of coin currency when they saw him as well. So all in all, it kind of looks like an attempted entering auto that was kind of dissuaded by the people in the area who saw him. And I will also note it was about 12:22 in the morning when this happened. So a time that not many people would be out doing what he was doing. The state's recommendation is the $4,000 surety bond that's already preset, $2,000 on each count. We also ask that he stay away from the entire 700 block of Custer Avenue, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and random drug screens. That's all for the state.
All right. And Ms. Tucker, it looks like there's an FTA warrant from City of Atlanta from July 1st of this year. Anything else, Ms. Tucker?
Yes. So Mr. Williams is 54 years of age. He is currently homeless and has requested a visit from our social worker regarding resources. He's also seeking help for drug treatment programs. He's completed his GED and he's currently not employed, as well as experiencing homelessness. Due to these reasons, we are requesting a signature bond for him. We have no objections to a stay away. When speaking with Mr. Williams, he was very adamant about wanting to get clean and turn his life around. He says he's been getting into having these issues due to a drug problem and being homeless. So we are requesting a signature bond on his behalf.
All right. On the loitering and prowling is going to be a $500 surety bond, and the possession and use of drug-related objects is a $500 signature bond through the jail. This is a $1,000 split bond. Next court date is July 15th. He is to stay away from the entire Custer Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia, ranging from 714 all the way up to 726 Custer Avenue, that entire block. He's to stay 200 yards away. No driving unless he has a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration. And if he does make bond, City of Atlanta will need to pick him up for whatever they've got him for. Thank you. Next court date is July 15th.
And Your Honor, with the random screens?
I can't authorize the random screens because I'm not going to be monitoring him.
Got it. Understood, Your Honor.
All right. I've just got him for no illegal drugs and no alcohol. Okay, Ms. Tucker, you're going into a breakout with our Spanish interpreter and Deputy Courtroom 2. Where is the breakout going to be held?
Courtroom 1.
Courtroom 1. Okay. Have they chimed in yet?
No, they're on the way.
Okay. Ms. Tucker, as soon as you see Courtroom 1, Ms. Lucia, as soon as you see Courtroom 1, Ms. Grace will place the interpreter and Attorney Tucker is gone.
No,
Is she-
I'm
is
still
she-
seeing her.
I still
Oh, there
see
she
you.
is. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Placed
Okay,
Attorney
Judge.
Tucker into the breakout. Thank you. Mr. McLean, who do you have, sir?
Mr. Cole?
Position number 3.
Okay. This is Zachariah Thomas Cole, accused of criminal trespass, as well as willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, 2 counts. So that's a total of 3 charges stemming from a July 1st of this year incident, case 25 CR 3719C. Mr. Cole, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is Mr. McLean. And any priors?
4. I got an open burglary out of LA. 2024 battery, looked like it might have been dismissed. 2017 possession of a controlled substance conviction.
So an open burglary case in California?
It appears.
Okay. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. So the background on this case is it occurred on July 1st, 2025 at Rockin' Taco at 928 Canton Street in Roswell. Officers were called to that location to escort the defendant out for making derogatory remarks to staff members. The officers tried to speak to the defendant. They believed he was either under the influence of a drug or maybe having an MH issue. He would refuse to get up, refuse to leave. And finally, the defendant stood up and began walking, tried to go into the employees only area, was redirected. That then started a pushing match between he and the officer because the defendant refused to go in the other direction. And the defendant was then, the officer attempted to arrest the defendant. The defendant said F you and started swinging on the officer, which then devolved into the officer having to take the defendant to the ground and tase him. They were able to take him to North Fulton Hospital and have him medically cleared. He would refuse to give his name. He said his name was Yahweh, and they were finally able to get his name through, I assume, fingerprints. The state did not have a history on him. I will say I am inclined to agree with what I'm hearing from pretrial services, being it sounds like it was out of the state of Georgia, which may be why we weren't able to pull up anything. We are asking for, first and foremost, a social worker visit just to ascertain if there's any issues here. The second thing we're asking for is a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services, $1,000 on each count. We do ask for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, that he stay away from Rockin' Taco on Canton Street, and that he have no further contact with the witness in this case, which I believe was Amanda Williams, who's an employee at that location. She's actually the manager there. And we asked for random screens as a part of a pretrial services bond.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, our social worker is right here with us. No objection.
This was a surety bond. Is that, you have no objection to that?
I thought I heard signature.
No, I said signature
Oh, signature, sorry. Okay.
through pretrial services.
Understood. The criminal trespass is going to be 1,000. The willful obstruction, 2 counts, is going to be 1,000 each. This is a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services. I'm going to make it a level 1. No further contact with Amanda Williams. Stay away from the Rock and Taco restaurant in Roswell Street in Roswell, Georgia. And that's a distance of 200 yards. So that's going to clear him from many, many other establishments in that location. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and no firearms. And he'll be subject to random screens by pretrial services for illegal drugs and or alcohol. Marijuana is still not legal in Georgia in case there's any California wives here. So please keep that in mind when you report to pretrial. If you violate the conditions of the bond, it will be revoked and amended to a surety bond or a cash bond. And your next court date will be sent to your current address in Alpharetta, Georgia. Thank you.
And Your Honor, we are also requested the no further contact with Amanda Williams.
Yeah, I did say that. Didn't
Okay, I may have missed it. I apologize.
I think it was the first thing I said. Okay.
Thank you.
This
All
per
right.
judge too.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like he's got a local address, so I'm not certain what's the California ties. Next case, please.
Number 12.
12. This is State versus Jamil. Oh, this was the one I had a problem. Okay, McLaughlin, is that correct, Mr. McLean?
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin, okay. Accused of reckless conduct from July 1st of this year, accusation 25 CR 3724H. Mr. McLaughlin, you've been advised of your rights. Your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean. Any priors?
Third, 2024 harassment phone call. 2021 dismissed marijuana possession.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This happened July 1st, 2025. Officers responded to Garibaldi Street and Stevens Street in reference to a suspicious male walking around the area with a firearm in his hand. Officers also received reports of gunshots in the area. They received a picture from a concerned citizen showing an unknown male holding a gun in his hand. That individual was identified based on the photo at 740 Garibaldi Street. On the porch, he was asked to stop and was taken into custody. They did canvass the area. They found 2 shell casings, 1 shell casing matching the defendant's weapon that was recovered from his person. We do ask the current bond set on this case, Your Honor, is a $5,000 surety bond. Quite frankly, I'm kind of surprised. I have 2 cases sort of the same with individuals just walking around with handguns randomly. We do ask for that $5,000 surety bond to remain as set, no further, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. I don't know if this defendant lives in that area. If he does not, we are asking for a stay away from that area and that he surrender any and all firearms to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. That's all for the state.
Okay. Mr. McLean?
It's in Riverdale, Georgia, at the address shown in Odyssey. I've talked to his dad, so he can stay away from that area. We would ask for a signature bond or a $1,000 surety, Your Honor, because he's got a 12th grade education. He's worked in unarmed security, valet work, and also in warehouses, and he is local. He's 25 and has plenty of community contacts, so there should be no problem with him attending court on time and obeying all conditions.
All right. Bond is going to be set at 2,500. It is a surety bond. No further, to stay away from the incident location at, I can't remember what was the name.
It says it was Garibaldi Street.
Garibaldi Street, that's right. And no firearms, no illegal drugs, and no alcohol. And with regards to firearms, Mr. McLaughlin, as a result of this case, so for the duration while this case is open and pending, you're not allowed to have any firearms on your person, in your home, in your vehicle, or anywhere near you. So if you're living with your father, make sure that he knows that all firearms in the house have to be removed because either the guns go or you go. Understood? Your next court date will be July 15th.
Position number 20.
This is State versus Alexander Scott Watkins, accused of harassing communications. And this is from February 10th, 2025, case number 25 CR 3728J. Mr. Watkins, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any prize?
Fifth arrest. He was arrested this year. Drugs not in the original container. Possession of amphetamine, cocaine, and marijuana. Disorderly conduct conviction 2024. 2023 trespass conviction. He had a DV case from 2024, but it was not prosecuted.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This happened on February 10th of 2025. Mr. Hudson Marr, who's a resident at those apartments, which are at 1160 Hammond Drive in Sandy Springs, had been receiving harassing communications from a phone number. He stated that the number was a number, well, they were able to identify that number with the maintenance worker who was the defendant. He did state that the person who called him didn't sound like that, but when they initially began investigation in this case, the harassing communications started and stopped. And then in February of 2025, that it started back in May of 2024. In February of 2025, the messages started up again. He received actually a total of 20 communications throughout the day on February 10th of 2025 from this number 678637 is the starting digits. And he stated that this is a number he had communicated with Mr. Watkins in the past for business reasons at the complex. That number had also been incidentally provided to police officers on January 1st, 2024 and May 17th, 2024, when he reported or was involved in related Sandy Springs PD cases at that apartment complex. The defendant, as I said, had continued to contact him even after Mr. Marr asked that he stop contacting him, and Mr. Marr was able to provide a screen recording of those communications, which led to the defendant's arrest. We had an opportunity to speak to Mr. Marr in this case. He stated he lives at the apartment complex and the defendant was a maintenance worker. He started receiving these harassing messages in 2024 after a noise complaint at the property. He then stopped receiving them in May of 2024 and then started randomly receiving them again in February 2025 after 9 months. He doesn't know why the defendant continues to harass him, and he has not received any messages since February. He does ask that the defendant have no contact with him and to stay away from the apartment complex. He did state he would be on Zoom, so at this time we would like to sound for Mr. Hudson Marr. The state is asking for an SOB through pretrial services, no further contact with Hudson Marr, stay away from 1160 Hammond Drive in Sandy Springs, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And when we are asking for no further contact, we ask that there be no further contact by email, text messaging, phone, through any third parties, any method which would be considered harassing communications under the law. That's all for the state.
I see a Scott Watkins on Zoom. I don't know who that is, but I
That's
don't
his,
see
that's his dad, Your Honor. I called his family. That's his dad.
Okay. And Mr. McLean, is your client still employed as maintenance at that particular complex?
I'll have to ask him.
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. On the harassing communications, that's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. I'll allow for telephonic reporting once a month. This will be authorized telephonic reporting. But Mr. Watkins, if you want to relish your freedom, please remember that you are from this point onwards not allowed to contact Hudson Marr in any way, form, or manner. If you have not done so in the past, let's continue that process. Do not contact him in person, through mail, email, phone, any kind of electronic device, and you can't even discuss him on social media. All right? You're also required to stay away from the apartment complex where he resides at 1160 Hammond Drive. And if you have no business there, that should make it pretty easy for you. All right? You're allowed telephonic reporting to pretrial. Do report to court and do report to pretrial, and don't get arrested again.
When would that court date be, Your Honor?
It'll be in the mail.
In the mail.
And
Thank you.
the name of the apartment complex is 1160 Hammond, just for you in the court and the clerk.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Thank you, Mr. McLean.
Number 6, Warren.
Your Honor, if we may postpone on number 6 until the end of the calendar, as well as there was a second one of the same nature, number 11.
Right.
Okay,
We
6
could just hold those till the end.
yeah, 6 and 11, we can address that towards the end of the calendar.
And I'm sorry, there's a third one. I guess it's the season for this. The numbers 15. So 6, 11, and 15 all have the same charge.
Is there anyone else, Mr. McLean, besides 6, 11, and 15 in the courtroom?
No, not right now. The next person is Tucker's last person.
Oh, okay. Well, if we can go off the YouTube, we can address those then.
Yeah. Mr. Scott Watkins on Zoom, Daddy Scott Watkins. All right, it doesn't seem to be responding. Miss Grace, can we remove him from the Zoom, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And we also need to stop the live stream. Deputy, can we clear out the courtroom with the exception of positions 6, 11, and 15?
We only have position 6. The other ones are waivers anyway.
Okay, so I only need 6, 11, and 15 in the courtroom.
Oh, I think I hear what courtroom 2 is saying. The only person is number 6. 11 and 15 are waivers.
Oh, I see. Okay.